No, that's not what I was expecting at all. And
It's
I've just
really
missed that
fun.
off the recording, so no one will know what you said.
Good, 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 good. Rachel, how's the week been going so far?
Good. I have a brand new car and I was so excited. I
Oh,
love
wow.
it.
What is, I'm not a car geek, but what is it?
It's an Audi TT,
Oh, very
Ooh,
nice.
which I've always wanted, but my other car had done 270 odd thousand miles, so it was time.
you deserved it. Absolutely. Good
Yes.
for you. Oh, that sounds fun. So, have you got a speeding fine yet?
No, no, but it's been polished to an inch of its life.
Oh, Rachel, that's so fun. And are you still going to see your parents? Because hasn't one of them had an operation or something?
Yes, and my brother's over from New Zealand, so I will be going down, but not till the end of the month. But yeah,
And
she
will
had
you
a
be
hip replaced. Good memory.
and will you be going in your Audi?
Of course. And
Amazing.
I'm going to Swindon and Malvern, and I'm like, oh, all these trips coming up. I can't wait.
Right, we want to see a photograph, please, of you in the car. Abby, you look very studious with all those leather-bound books.
They are in the office. I'm just in the office in a room with loads of books behind me. They're not anything to do with me. In fact, they're not even in English. So
It's a good backdrop, I think. If you're on TV next time you're on TV, that can
that
be,
happens a lot. Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What's half term? You survived. Congrats.
Yes, thank you. We did survive. There was a surprise TD day yesterday. We got emailed about it from the school on Friday. Just whoop, just gonna drop this one in. So yesterday was
What's a
slightly
TD day?
like the teacher training day. So the kids are off.
Inset days, yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, inset day. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
loads of people seem to have them. We've got one on Thursday.
That's a
Random.
random day.
Random. We're banded together with a group of pals and we're going to pass them round.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Got it
That's really
sorted.
good. That's
Got that
great.
WhatsApp group going already.
Well
Hello,
done.
Stuart. How are you?
Hello, I'm all right. I literally just walked in through the door. I was in the office. I cycled home because the weather forecast says a thunderstorm is coming.
We've had it here.
You've had
Yeah,
it, have you?
it's really exciting.
Unreal.
It was cool,
Oh.
really
I
cool.
love a
So I did
thunderstorm.
not want to get caught in that cycling home later, so I came
Fair
home
enough.
now. So apologies if the cat is excited that I've just come in. So you'll see his tail flicking about, and he's right here.
Oh,
Oh,
hello.
Oh,
no.
what's his name?
Merlin.
I was telling my daughters that he'd got stuck in the cupboard last time, and
Yeah,
they absolutely loved that.
yes.
Highlight of their evening.
It's a highlight. Oh, Merlin. Yeah,
Wow.
lovely.
Um,
Oh,
Oh, love.
There we go.
very good. Very cool. Very cool. Hello, Beth.
Yeah.
I
Um,
think, how are you doing? Are you okay?
running between meetings, but I'm fine.
Well done. Very,
Oh,
very good.
yes.
You've got a thunderstorm on the way. We've had it here. It's coming down to you shortly. It's very exciting. Did you have a nice time last week? Did you do anything or did you work on through?
No, I was off last week, so I was in Cambridge doing a bit of punting.
Oh,
Yeah, so that's fun.
are you good at it?
Yeah, we had someone do it, to be fair. I didn't want to swim in the river, it didn't look good.
That sounds great. My father-in-law always tells a story about punting in Cambridge, thinking he was looking amazing, and then passing a very posh family with a picnic hamper open, and one of them said, "You're punting from the wrong end."
oh no.
So he quite often quotes it, but easily done, easily done. And yeah, that's a very sophisticated thing to have done. Um, Good. Rachel, you have to go at 2:20. Okay, fine. We do need to just do a quick poll on, do you mean 2:20? Do you mean 3:20?
320.
Yes, 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 yes. Good. We need to do a quick poll on the holidays in the summer because do you all know, have your leave with you to hand? Do you all know when you've signed off for
Yeah.
the whole summer?
Mhm.
Yeah. Because we just like to make sure we can get dates when most of you are going to be here over the summer because we can be a bit flexible on them. So if Rachel has to go then, Rachel, could you just jot down when you're away in the summer in the chat?
I'm not.
Oh, you're not? Brilliant. Okay.
I don't
Very
know yet
wise.
is the honest answer because
Fine.
in my team the summer's a weird time when festivals and events come up, so I just leave booking holidays at the last minute. But
Okay.
yeah,
Fair enough. It's no problem. We can just power through. And Abby and Beth, if you know, when Claire puts the poll up, just tick which ones you know you can make. So if you've got your diary to hand, that'd be great. Right, let's get started because people will look at this on the recording, I hopefully.
Yeah, Katie's on her way. She just drove home, so she'll be joining as soon as she can.
Okay, thank you. That's great to know. Okay, so here is the mindset for today, and it's a really lovely one from Paul. And once again, we're back in Philippians as we were last week. And he says this: not that I have already obtained all this or have already arrived at my goal, but I press on to take hold of that for which Christ Jesus took hold of me. Brothers and sisters, I do not consider myself yet to have taken hold of it. But one thing I do, forgetting what is behind and straining towards what is ahead, I press on toward the goal to win the prize for which God has called me heavenward in Christ Jesus. And I was just thinking there's so many different things from the tools in this passage. I think it's a really brilliant calibration of support and challenge. The support is there in that there's no fear. The prize is secure. The prize is eternal life, which we have in Jesus because he spilled his blood for our sins. We don't have any fear of punishment and death. All we have to do is repent, be sorry for our sins, and believe. So that's where the support is. But there's also a challenge as well. The challenge is don't sit on your laurels. This is not the time just to sort of be free and easy in our grace and to think, oh, well, nothing I do makes any difference anyway. No. Paul says we haven't obtained yet what we can be. Christ knows the image we've been made of God. We're a part of the body that we've talked about before. And we need to allow ourselves to aspire to do more, aspire to be stretched and to have goals of achieving the things that God has put in our hearts to do. It says in scripture, he has created good works for us to walk in. So what are those good works? And they're going to be good works means they're going to be work. It's going to mean a bit of stretch, a bit of pushing on, and there will be setbacks. There will be failures. So you can see there that phrase, forgetting what is behind. How often do those failures and setbacks and fears hold us back from actually being the leader we want to be, or being the person or the friend we want to be, or the family member we want to be? So that's the self-preservation tool right there, not clinging on to those things that are oppressing us, but actually letting them go and deciding that we do have the capacity, the power through Christ to move ourselves forward. So without further ado, thinking of that aspirational stretch idea, I'm going to hand over to Claire to talk us through the wonderful expectation scale tool.
Okay, so conflict comes from missed expectations. If you're feeling frustration over something, it's likely that you have an expectation that hasn't been met. So you've basically made an internal decision that something is going to happen in the moment or in the future, and it doesn't. And as leaders, we have to take responsibility for sharing and communicating expectations. The other person obviously has to be willing to do that on their side too, but it starts with us. Unsurprisingly, some voices naturally do this better than others. But when we're leading in any setting, it's really important that we're setting realistic expectations and that we consider each individual in terms of their skill set and personal development. So realistic should mean the appropriate amount of support and challenge, and limited and resigned means that we've missed the mark as a leader. So because this has come up a few times in each group over this particular block of sessions, I'm just going to focus on what to do if you get pushback on an expectation from, and I'm not sure if you can hear, the thunder is going absolutely bonkers in the background. Hopefully the sound is being filtered out. So because often if we do get pushback, our instinct is to dig in and defend our position. We've made a decision based on the information that we have in our reality and it makes sense to us. But we've got to remember that in these circumstances, we're not trying to win. If you're experiencing pushback or feeling frustration, then we first have to start with common ground. What do we agree on with the other person? What is the outcome we need? What do we both want success to look like? And then we have to listen carefully for the common ground and overlap. And when you're listening, you should be able to determine exactly where the gaps are in terms of skill sets, behavior, traits. So you can ask if you need to, what do you think I'm missing? What do you need to make this realistic? It might be that you have to adjust your expectations, or it might be the opportunity you need to sharpen your leadership and hold the expectation, but with clarity and support. We want to work with someone, not push them or drag them.
Mhm.
You're liberating yourself and others when you bring high support and high challenge, and you want your team to be motivated and empowered to achieve their goals. Laura.
Yeah, that's so good. I love that. And I think if a person is healthy, then you want to be just to the right side of that realistic zone. For some people, tipping into slightly unrealistic, because some people really like a big goal. For others, especially if perhaps there's lots of pressure going on at home, if they're in the squeeze of having young people and older people to look after at the same time, then it might have to be smack in the middle of the realistic zone. But it's really helpful to sit down. I like what Claire said about the win-win. Sit down with your person side by side, whack this tool up, tell them what you want them to do, and then ask them where they think it is on the scale. I did that with someone that was working with us, a lovely girl, our friend called Lizzie. She was doing design work with us, and I just thought, I'm going to do this tool in our one-to-ones. And I said, Lizzie, where are the things I'm asking you to do right now? Thinking she might say unrealistic. I'm giving her quite a lot to do. And she actually said limited. She pointed to limited. I said, really? She said, yeah, I think it's all really fine. It's pretty easy. It's pretty straightforward. She's got a degree in design. I was like, wonderful. I'm so glad we're having this chat. I'm going to give you a bit more to do. So that's quite nice when that happens. So don't assume we know where the expectations are on that scale for that person. We have one idea, but it might be completely different for them. Quick example before we move on. Those two end zones are red. And the reason for that is if we can set someone an impossible goal, it can very quickly become a huge disappointment to us, can't it? And that's why it ends up in resigned. We just end up then resigning ourselves to them. And we might have a phrase about them like they're just chaotic or they just can't get anything done. And actually, that might not be true. There might be nuance to that. I had to deal with this recently at home because we were doing our garden and I gave James what I thought were reasonable things to do in the garden. And we got to the end of the holiday and none of them were complete. None of them were finished. And so I decided in my head that James was just being a bit chaotic and I was the one that was organised. When actually the truth was, when I unpacked it, with someone else who's older and wiser at church, I said, Sandy, James is driving me nuts. Here's what's happened. And she very kindly said, Laura, she has this, her husband and mine are very similar. She said, what I find is helpful with Harry is when I say, Harry, the one thing I want from you is, now, how can I help you accomplish it? And it was so brilliant. And I just stopped and thought, oh my word, I'm the chaotic one. I've been listing and piling up expectations on James. Okay, it started with one thing and then I kept adding things in. That's not fair. So I pulled it right back. I came home and I said, the one thing I need you to do is to fill in the patio holes, the holes between the paving stones in the patio. How can I help you achieve that? And guess what? We did it. We got it done that day and we went to the pub and had a lovely time at the pub as a family. By 6 o'clock, we were there and we all felt amazing. So as a boss, as a leader, ask yourself, what am I doing that is, am I giving someone a realistic expectation or am I piling expectations on? Or am I being really vague in terms of what I want? If that's you and if you're feeling frustrated that someone's not delivering, give them one thing to do and ask, how can I support you in achieving that? I think this is the best tip I've learned in this season lately. So hurrah for those church conversations in the coffee with people who are older and wiser. Okay, over to the next tool, which is very on a similar theme. We're still investing in other people because that's the section of tools we're doing at the moment. And this one's called Multiplying Magic. So this one asks us to remind ourselves about our voice. What specific skill set or leadership behaviors do you have that you would like to see in others? Okay. And mine as a pioneer is that ability to see the strategic steps that take something from reality to vision. That's my super skill as a pioneer. I can just see how to get things done. And I want to be able to multiply that to others. And that's exactly why, whenever we do an altitude session, we do the core process. Every session, we do the core process because the core process teaches you all how to think like a pioneer, how to think of what the next step might be. It moves us through those phases of what that next step might be. So, what's your specific skill as a nurturer, as a connector, or as a guardian? And how can you multiply it? So, the how is thinking of the genre. So, do you inform someone? Can they listen to something, for example? Do you need to train them? Do they need to go on a course? Or do you need to have a specific time set apart to train them in the skills? Do you coach them? So actually in your one-to-ones, can you take them around developing others square? Or apprenticeship? Can they follow you around? Can you bring them on? Can they come and do the thing with you? And when can that happen? Think of formal, informal time. Okay, so some formal time, but also some informal time. Do you know what? Why don't you come along with me on this? And who? Who is the specific person who needs a specific skill? And how will you help to impart that to them? So lots in this session today. Claire, any thoughts on multiplying magic tool?
Um, yeah, I think one thing to think about, I sort of prefer a combination of coach and apprentice, and that would probably be my go-to um way of dealing with other people. But it's just remembering they might not necessarily want that. So check first, I would say.
Yeah, very good. Check first. So Lucy, who works with us, has asked if she does our books, and she said, "Oh, I found this training course. I'd really like to do it." And I said, "Fine, if that's how you want to learn, then that's great. Let's go for that." So that's a really good point, Claire. Is asking someone how they would like to. Again, you could pull up the tool and you could say, "What method would you prefer?" And here's the specific skill. So you'll have made notes from the preparation you did before. And let's just have a bit of a time now in our breakouts to look at this. So pick one person you lead. Are your expectations clear? Well, I mean, they might need to be the judge of that and realistic, but have you actually said them out loud? Have you told them what those expectations are? Have you realized during this session that maybe you're piling up expectations and so on? Or have you given them one specific thing? What specific skill do you want to impart to them? So it's trying to just combine the two tools, but really you can process any parts of those two tools that you would like to process. You'll notice as we went on that the informal formal tool popped up there next to when. So have you given sufficient time to that person to invest in them? And remember, developing others tool has a clock in the middle to remind us that it does take time. So you might want to grab that slide, or as I said, just process anything from those two tools that you would like to process. Any clarifying questions before we move on? No? Good. Hopefully that gave you some food for thought. Okay, enjoy some time in chats now. Make sure everybody gets to speak, and see you on the other side. Hold that thought. Abby, tell us what you discovered or discerned on the discussion.
Well, I mentioned a few things. One of the things is that I'm kind of doing a review of the whole team at the moment. When we got this new strategy, it's not really new anymore, but the 5 goals, it really changed the way that marketing works. And also the team has shrunk quite a lot. So we're down from like 5 people, 6 people to 3 people. or 2.5 because one of them is very part-time. And we don't have a lot of the skills we need in the team or the capacity we need in the team to properly serve the organization. So I'm looking at how, and I'd been trying to work out how we worked based on what we have in the team. And then I spoke to somebody else and they were like, actually, what you need to do is look at what you need in the team and go to those people and say, you're being paid to do this role. This is your job description. I need you to do this, rather than kind of me preempting and going, oh, they wouldn't be able to do that, or that's too much to ask. And then if that's unrealistic or they can't do it, then we have to look at how we then work through that, whether it's training or whether it's moving
Yes.
things around. So that this has been really timely and really helpful in kind of reinforcing that conversation I had yesterday. But also the multiplying magic thing. I think presentation training, I don't mind speaking in front of people, but both people on my team don't like it at all. So they are both going on presentation training to help them really just improve their kind of internal people knowing them internally and people recognizing and their ability to communicate with big groups of people, either in meetings or in more of a stand-up situation. So
That's excellent. So that's probably more of the train aspect, isn't
yeah,
it? Multiplying
definitely.
magic. So yeah, I mean, you might want to consider layering on a bit of apprenticeship. You're really good at it. So could you take them along with you on
Mm,
something to
okay,
watch?
that's a good idea.
Because you can learn a lot through imitation. We have a phrase in Giant, imitate before you innovate. So start by really copying someone who's good. That is a great way to begin to grow your
Mm,
conscious incompetence, is
yeah,
to imitate someone else who's good at it.
that's it.
So that you could add that in maybe to help it become even more valuable and then inform as well. Maybe you've got some clips from YouTube or elsewhere of people doing things well, and you think this is a really good one. Have a look at this, study how they do it, make some notes.
Yeah,
So there could be quite a bit around it, or you could show it in a meeting. Like, let's look at this person. Let's all pick one thing we can learn from the way this person presents in this
yeah,
4 minute talk. It's finding these different innovative ways. You don't have to do everything the same for each person. It's about each person finding their way to achieve the same objective.
mm,
Don't tell me how, tell me what. What's the outcome you want? And if each person can play to their strengths in working out how to get there,
yeah.
that's how the voices is quite helpful. So, finding out what their voices are can be a helpful way as well to engage with them. So, well done. What I love, Abby, is you're trying different things. You're trying different things, and that's key. That's great. Beth, let's come to you next.
I think I've also been trying new things with the team, so trying to encourage more people to step up and maybe take a part in the department meetings, so lead a section of the meeting, so feedback something they've learned on a training course or a project they've been involved in, and then also try and encourage them to like lead a group session and then feedback. So the idea of that is just to build their confidence. So maybe they can then do an all-staff meeting and feel more comfortable doing it. So I think I'm
Brilliant.
just trying to kind of share out some of those tasks. So it's not always me and it's not always the fundraising managers, but also so other people in the team can grow and develop. So
So just to clarify, you get somebody to feedback in each meeting, somebody different to feedback on a course they've been on or a skill they've learned for a few minutes.
yes.
That's great. And have they adopted that? Are they into it?
Yeah, I think, it's difficult because for some people it isn't something that they're comfortable with. So in some ways I don't want to push if it isn't, but offer that opportunity. So I will say to them, oh, I know you went on a course last month. We'd really love to know a bit about what you learned. Could you share it? And mostly they take that up as an opportunity. And occasionally someone's like, oh no, I don't think so. And then actually they have sort of done it as a written thing instead, if they don't
Yes,
feel comfortable, yeah, actually presenting it.
that's really good. So if they've done it as a written thing, maybe next time they could script something. Can you
Yeah,
write a few sentences
yeah.
and read them out? So you're almost giving these steps to move them forward to a place where they can speak out loud. Beth, that's really helpful. Some good stuff there. I'm sure that's helpful for some others as well. Rachel?
So I was saying that a bit like you said, it's not always what you think. So I was thinking that I'm obviously not very clear at telling people what I want them to do because I keep having issues, where they haven't done what I've wanted them to do. But actually found out today that that wasn't the case at all. I was clear, but it's because they get distracted by other things or, and things like that. But I had come up with a form for when I set a task, and I was said I'd like to do this, but I don't want you to feel it's an onerous thing. And they all said no, we think it's great. It would be great to remind us and everything. And
Brilliant.
actually filling it in really helps me as well with the realistic expectations because I think actually that if they don't hand it in till then that's not any good for that. And
Really good. So
yeah,
a deadline.
yes, yeah,
Specific
deadlines,
thing.
mini check-ins,
Yeah.
and
Many check-ins along the way.
and Abby reminded me of something that's very important. Get them to say back to me what they think I've asked.
Yes. Yes. What have you heard?
Yes.
Yeah, and you can put that on yourself. Like, I just want to check I've been clear.
Mm,
What did you hear there? Can you tell
yeah.
me? Yeah, love that. Loads of good stuff there. Brilliant. Stuart.
Yeah, slightly different for me because I don't lead or manage anyone, but I kind of transferred it to a different situation where I think there needs to be expectations in both directions, which is my department want me to do a master's degree, distance learning, and oh for goodness, Merlin, don't do that. He's attacking the power cord. If it goes funny, I'm sorry. What was I saying? Yeah, so they want me to do this distance learning master's degree, which I'm happy to do in theory, but I've read the small print now, and it's 3 years. And if I happen to leave the organisation, which I've got no plans to do, in that time frame, so in 3 years plus 2 years, so 5 years total, I'd have to pay the entirety of the fees back, which is 15 grand. So essentially, it locks me in for 5 years. And I also want to have a conversation about salary, increasing my salary. If I lock myself in for 5 years, where's the incentive to
Yes.
really have that conversation? So
Yes.
this has only come up in the last few days. So I'm looking to have conversations, serious conversations about expectations, both from Bible Society side and being very clear about what I expect.
Yes.
And having a proper negotiation on that, but also having the strength to be firm enough to say, okay, you may want me to do this, but this don't work for me. So
Yes.
no.
Yeah. Well, well done for reading the small print. I don't know how many of us actually ever do that. It's probably the only time I'm conscious that I lie is when I tick that I've read everything and the terms and conditions. Because who does? Stuart, do you actually do that in the terms and conditions? Do you read it?
No, well, the only reason I read it was, well, twofold really. It was not small print. It is small print, but it was actually normal size print, and it was before you got to the actual form.
Right.
But we also, you might remember Nigel, our former director, he fell foul of the same thing. So he left Bible Society and then had to repay fees from a course that he did. So it was in the back of my mind. So I was looking for that.
Well done.
Yeah.
Well done. Love that learning. That's so good. I think also I'd want to draw your attention to multiplying magic. And, you've got this amazing skill, I think, of the way you speak and the podcasting thing that's coming through, the way you lead people in those meditative thoughts for the day, the reflections. Please keep doing it. And also perhaps be thinking about who you might be able to teach those skills.
Yeah.
Noelle, hello. Lovely to see you. Tell us about these tools. Where do they land for you?
Yes. So I think with the person that I'm managing, I think our expectations are pretty clear because in fundraising, you have a target and we need to meet it. And I think that's pretty clear. And this person is like a very high achiever. And so I don't feel like we have too many issues with expectations. I even think the way in which they go about hitting those targets, we've really workshopped and looked at and sort of worked out together. So I just think that's quite clear. But I think in terms of what I could impart, I think this person is definitely a front foot type of person. So thinks of an idea and then is like, let's just go and do it. And I'm much more, I guess, guardian-esque in that I usually am critiquing it or thinking like, let's think about this, let's ask some questions, like what about this and this. And I think um, naturally we are very good for each other in that way, because I think I learn a lot from her even about yeah, I don't know, she's just very front foot where I'm back foot. So I just think that combination works well. But I think what I'm doing is I'm very intentionally being vocal in that process that I have. So like just this week, we're working through a new project and a quote for it. And I'm trying to be very vocal in like saying, okay, well, let's think about this. What about this question? Is it worth this cost? Like I'm trying to make that very clear that
Yes.
that's my thought process. And I'm
Yes.
trying to do that intentionally to sort of teach the person while not like being weird about being like, let me teach you this. So yeah, that's something I've been doing.
Noelle, I think everybody would want a healthy guardian like you to teach them how to do the due diligence piece, because you won't make it heavy, you won't make it cluttered. And that's really what these infographics are for. These tools are about teaching someone who doesn't have that immediate understanding how to do a particular skill. So some of the tools we've done, like say communication code, some of you are like, well, that's obvious. And others are like, oh my, I was with someone the other day and he was like, I'm embarrassed that I don't know this stuff naturally because my sister is brilliant at this, 50-year-old guy. My sister's brilliant at all of this, but I'm a bit embarrassed that I don't know any of this. And I said, yeah, but look at your numerical skills. They're incredible. So I'd ask you, Noelle, could you create a tool, or 3 questions that you would put through naturally? When you think of an idea, you go, right, let me ask these 3 questions about that idea and teach it on. So have some sort of a way. That would be brilliant. That would be gold to your team who perhaps aren't guardians, but want to be able to see their idea work. That's what the
Gold
guardian.
for me, Noelle. If you could send me those questions,
Yes.
I'd love that. Thank you.
Yes. There you go. So, and that's that beautiful combination of the yellow and the blue energies being so complementary. So yeah, we'd love to see it. If you do it, please bring it along and share it.
Great.
I love the point that Stuart made, which is we aren't just using these tools for those who are our direct reports. We're also looking at these tools for our own support as well. So I think I'd want to ask you, who's investing in you? What specific skill set does somebody who's further on than you have that you would like to receive, you'd like to be able to have, to be able to put into practice? Is there somebody you'd like to go and ask to coach you? Is there someone you'd like to shadow at an event or at something or on a project? Is there some place you can go to get some extra training? Stuart mentioned, doing an MA. Or Inform, is there a video you could go and watch? Somebody doing things. We now have access through our phones to the best experts in the whole world doing these things. So don't just get caught up firefighting. Think for a moment. That's what these sessions are for. Think, what is a skill I would love to have? Where could I grow? So back to expectations. If I'm feeling like the expectations on me at the moment are quite limited and I'm resigned to the fact that I've just got this churn, actually, you might want to go to the right side of that realistic zone, that tipping into the aspiring unrealistic, having the energy that Paul has when he says, I'm moving forward, I'm taking the goal. I haven't got it yet, but I've got a stretch goal in mind, and thinking, how would I like to grow? Who can get me to the next stage? So be thinking about this for yourself as well. We should all be investing in others, and we should have those people investing in us as well, which is quite exciting. So it's that time where we try to just bring it down to one particular thing. So what's a small pattern change that can help us to have a better reality? Is the reality with that person we're leading who we're just knocking our head against a brick wall with them? Or is our reality that we're a little bit bored at the moment, actually, because we're not setting ourselves a stretch goal? What's our reality and what do we want to change? Recognize your tendency in that. Is your tendency to go it alone? Is your tendency to set really high standards for yourself? Make a list of things you want to get done that is just totally beyond your ability to smash, and therefore you're becoming, you're doing this. In other words, you're doing this to yourself. You're making yourself resigned. You're dominating yourself by bringing yourself too much challenge. Might not set one thing to move forward each time. Somebody said to me the other day, I went back and looked at our list of things we wanted to accomplish, and we've done nearly all of them. So, the best way to measure is to look back. It's actually all we have in terms of true data is where we've come from. So look back at where you were a year ago and where are you now? What have you achieved? What have you moved forward? That will give you the energy you need to look further ahead and to think, where would I like to be next? And then think about this tool. Have a real fun with this tool, thinking, who can I get to coach me, to apprentice me, to train me, and to inform me to move that skill forward? And you'll be surprised at where you might end up. Okay, exciting. So, breakout 2 is the core process. So call it, what's your aha from today? Which of the tools is it? Is it a particular person? Is it yourself? What are you doing or not doing? And then what's your response going to be? And then execution, think as well of when. When are you going to do a specific thing to move that goal forward? Okay, so you might want to take a photograph of this question if it's helpful. What is my clear, realistic next step to hone? Okay, if you're thinking about input, and impart to others my specific skill or set expectations for a specific person. Okay, we probably don't have 8 minutes, maybe 5. I know Rach has to go early. Rach, just go when you need to go. It's lovely to have you. Any questions? Okay, great. See you in a few minutes for a sharing of our specific next step. Thank you. Rachel, were you with one person or were you with 2?
I was with 2.
Great, perfect. You're on it.
Yeah.
She knows.
I'll go and join them, but then I'll say goodbye to you because I'll be gone.
Yes. Bye, Rachel. Have a brilliant couple
Bye-bye.
of weeks. See you soon.
Thank you.
We're going to start with you, Noelle. We're going to go in reverse order.
Yes. You guys gave it to me. So I'm gonna write up some questions. I think it'll be an interesting practice to see for me, what are the things that I think about when I'm thinking about an idea and whether or not we should do it. To be honest with you, I don't know if I would share it with right now with the person that I'm managing. I think the dynamic, because we were on the same team and now I'm that person's manager, I'm just being very careful not to be a bit condescending in how I treat the person. And not that that would be condescending, but if you understand, I just don't think right now that's the right time, at least, to be doing that. But I think it would be helpful to have the questions and just to think through and have that process. And I can share them with Abby, who wants them. So there you go.
He wants them. And it's actually formal, informal. You're saying actually formally teaching it isn't really appropriate, but I might drop it in a bit informally,
Yes.
especially if it's asked for. So you're still doing it, but you're choosing to do it in the informal space. But we'd like to hear it. And I'm sure down the line it would be useful. And you can use it in your book that you write eventually, Noelle, on your super skills. But I just love that. That's a kind of amazing vision of how Five Voices can work, as if recognizing that not everyone thinks like this. It's not obvious to everybody. And just as perhaps doing some of the things that Abby would do and connecting and the creativity stuff, that might not be that obvious to a Blue. So if we can create ways to pass it on, people are really, really grateful.
Yeah, that's great.
Love that. And then Stuart, we'll go back to you.
Yeah, Noelle gave me a great idea. I think a year ago, maybe a bit more than a year ago, I did some workshops on different kind of aspects of Catholic spirituality. And part of my role is making Catholic tradition more visible at Bible Society. But I've not done them for, over a year now. So I will select another useful and relevant aspect of Catholic spirituality over the next month and then pitch it to HR and run it before September.
Yes, please. I want that in my inbox. Definitely. There's such a hunger. I mean, my husband, who came to faith in his 20s from the most worldly, background, you name, sport, everything, like just never would have been bothered in a church. He is now really getting into practice it, the practices of the ancients, and he loves it. And father this and father that, and I talked to him about you, Stuart, quite a bit. So I think there's a lot of really good things there. Claire often talks about the antidote, don't you, to Tate, Matthew Tate.
Yeah, give that man a podcast.
Yeah, yeah, give Stuart a podcast. Stuart and Di together, or for young men, to hear some voices of people who are doing healthy things.
Oh, thank you.
Love it. Okay, great. Thanks, Stuart. And then to Beth.
Does Merlin have anything to add?
Merlin is currently sleeping, which I'm very happy about. Plus, also, the rain has just started here.
Oh, exciting. Beth?
I will find a couple of slots at the all staff meeting for my team to feedback on projects, just so we keep raising the profile. And then Abby had a great idea of celebrating when we've reached particular targets, and including like all the staff to come together and just share and celebrate with us as well, which would be really good.
That's awesome. I love that, celebrating. Um, just a combination of those two ideas, feeding back and celebration, that multiply magic tool could be used for the whole team to, you could say, this person's done this awesome thing. Now tell us how you did it. Teach us, and or maybe have an interview if someone doesn't want to just speak, but actually constantly going, let's show good practice, let's learn good practice. It's something education is very good at, actually, is go and see that person teach this because they're brilliant at it, and the way they do their classroom. So more of that would be great. Abby, what have you got?
Again, going back to the restructure and responsibilities of the team, I'm going to focus on looking at what we need rather than what we have, and then I'm going to increase the support challenge with team members. So as we roll out the new way of working, they're going to need extra support, but also it's going to be a challenge. So kind of raising that with them, and then looking at whether the training is formal, informal, how we do it, I think, to get to where we need. I'm not sure if that's really
Do
right, but
you
that's
know their voices, Abby?
yes, I do. They're both green.
Both green.
Mm,
So it might be the one-to-one space where they're most comfortable. And also,
yeah.
you've got Beth and Stuart here who are greens,
Yeah.
so they might also be able to give you some good tips outside of this call
Yeah.
on what would work for them. How can that be achieved? So me giving James the patio to do on his own as a connector yellow, wasn't very effective. Me saying, what can I do to support? We end up doing it together was an
Yeah.
absolute win. So he achieved it, but in a different way to how I would have done it.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
that thing, isn't it? Trying it, but well done. That is tiring, but you're plugging away, and you're so going to find the way forward with them because you want to. And aren't they lucky? Aren't they blessed to have new leaders who are investing in yourselves?
I don't
Yes.
know. Thank you.
Yes, yes, yes. Now, Claire has put together a little poll for us in the chat. So if you could just pull up the chat, that would be so helpful. We just want to serve you the best we possibly can. So, Claire, what should they do here?
So I know a couple of you have said that you're not sure yet. But yeah, these are the dates. So 28th of July, 4th of August, 18th of August that we have got. Well, 4th and the 18th, we've definitely got sessions in. If you're going to be away, can you tick that you're going to be away?
So, ticking is away.
Ticking is away, yeah. If
Okay.
we leave it
I
there.
can't see anything in the chat.
No, I
This might
can't
just
see
be my
anything.
iPad.
Oh, can you not?
No.
Hmm.
It should be for everyone. I will just pop them. I'm just gonna.
I can see them.
Anyone else see that?
No, they're starting to appear now. Yeah.
Okay.
Well done. Can you see the new ones? Yeah. Thank you.
It might have been if they were when they were out in the breakout rooms.
So tick the ones that we can do.
Tick it if you're going to be away.
If you're going to be away,
If
right.
you're going to be away, yeah.
So I'll do the ones I know definitely I'm going to be away for now, but that might change.
Okay.
Is it just 3? Yeah, the 4th.
Yeah, that's just the kind of kids' summer holidays because the last one is scheduled for the first week in September, and I assume everyone's going to be back then.
And then the beginning of July, would anyone be away for?
I'm away on the 14th. I don't know. Yeah, we do have a session on the 14th.
14th? Yeah, could you put 14th in as well, please, Claire? 14th of July.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Preemptive.
We've already got 2 away on the 28th and no one away on the 4th. So we could pull that 28th to the 4th.
Yeah.
Oh no, the 4th is the one we've got. The 4th is the one we've got.
Okay, so
That's perfect. So we're right to do the 4th then. We'll
yeah.
keep the 4th. We're right not to do the 28th. And then two are away on the 14th. Okay, that might be worth changing then. Claire, are you logging that? Yeah.
Yeah, I'll
Okay,
just
wonderful. Well, thank you, everybody. That's time. Great stuff. You're still building up your toolkit. Keep going. Keep applying it. And enjoy the storm when it comes your way.
thank
Thanks,
you.
guys. See you soon.
Bye. It's
Thank
so fun.
you.
It's sunny again here, no?